Well, I think as I spend time with these players on the training field, I spend time with them and discussing aspects of the game with them, the more I sense the excitement from them about what they can possibly do in France. I think this is an incredible tournament we're all looking forward to. And I know firsthand from when the team gets itself into the tournament, as it did in 2007, and then focuses on each game as it comes and just tries to get better each week. And then I think if you do that and you do that diligently, then I think the team has the potential to achieve something that they'll be very proud of.
World Cup.
Well, I think that this group of players, if you look at it now, they've got, we average over 40 caps, we've got an average age of 26. We've got, I think there's 14, in this squad there's 14 of the 23 from the Rugby World Cup final in 2019. So we've got a group of players that are experienced, a group of players that understand. Some players have played, this will be their fourth World Cup for some of them, they understand World Cup rugby. And that's exciting because that's blended with some players that have, this will be their first tournament and are bringing that incredible talent that they bring. So our job is to harness all their strengths, pull them on the pitch and set up in a way that will ensure we can put out top quality performances. And as for us, over the next 3 weeks, the next 3 games, we'll be building towards the tournament.
And for you, what
for us, as we look at it, and I see this every day with the players. I see them in their team room playing table tennis against each other. They're desperate to win in everything they do. And what I want to see is a group of players that is really work clear on what they want to do and how we're going to play, really fit and energised towards it, and then able to bring all their strengths onto the pitch. Because if you do that, you add their competitive spirit and competitive desire into it. They're desperate to win every encounter they go into. We'll take an approach as we build through these weeks, then we get to the tournament, we'll make sure that we focus only one game at a time through the tournament.
But winning.
This group of players that we work with are some of the most competitive people I've ever met. They want to win everything. They want to win everything they go into. Now, what I want to do is, as I say, we will build through these weeks till we get to the start of the tournament. We play Argentina, September 9th, Argentina, our first game of the World Cup. That'll be our focus. We play Argentina, the next game will be our focus. That's what we will go through this tournament with.
Thanks, Steve. Thank you for that.
Yeah, we have a very clear framework of what we're working towards from a training load point of view, from a tactical point of view, to ensure that when we get to September the 9th, we are ready, because that's what we're building towards. Also be clear is we want to win the test matches. And I think I've said that from day one. We want to win the test matches. So we have that. We're also to understand the need for adaptability. We also understand the need for adaptability to that framework. But yeah, we've got a very clear plan in mind.
And for you, Kevin?
So obviously there's been a number of difficult decisions as you have to take the squad down to 33 players, and we have a lot of talented players to select from. So by that nature is that quality players miss out on the 33. Henry's been excellent throughout the training camp. He clearly disappointed, but the message to the players that have not been selected is that be ready to come into this squad. We know that there will be changes. The past World Cups show us that there's bumps and bruises, and there has to be some change within the players. I think the average is nearly 2 players a squad over the last number of tournaments. So what I've asked every player who's not been selected who's been in our training camps is be ready to go. I think the Henry, along with all the players that were not selected within the squad that I spoke to, disappointed. Clearly, they all want to represent their country, they want to represent England, and they've all worked incredibly hard to be part of this squad. I'd also say that each one of them, I know, is going to be ready to go should that call come and we require them out in France.
And at number 8, Billy Van about 13.
Yeah, well, I think as you look at the squad, you see there's a number of players who can play 13, can play 12. Joe, as you alluded to, gives you that wing cover. You've got Elliot Daly can play 13, or Lawrence play 13, Manu can play 13, Joe. They've got the ability of Owen to play 10, play 12. So we've got flexibility throughout the centres, which has been an important aspect. And I'll say again, there's good players, unfortunately, that you can't select. I would love to be more than 33 that I could pick. I can't. It's 33. So by the nature of being 33 and being limited to that, players will miss out. Yeah, and without meaning to repeat myself, there are always good players that are going to miss out on the squad. I think Alex has done really well. He's trained well, and I think he's a very, very good player. I think there's a lot of competition in that back row, and I think, as we alluded to, there's also flexibility in that back row around positions. You've got Lewis Ludham's ability to play in all three, 6, 7 and 8. Ben Earl's ability to play 7 and 8. Tom Curry, 7, 8 and 6. Last World Cup played 6. So you see there's a lot of flexibility there. And for me, it's about making the decisions in the right combinations. And that's ultimately that's what it's come down to.
And
Corn is a world-class player. I think this is his 4th World Cup. A multiple British Lion, a player who, in any team he brings, he instills confidence in those around him with the way he plays and the intensity he brings in his play on the pitch. He's very relaxed and calm off the pitch, and then steps onto the pitch and brings incredible competitive intensity. And I'm certainly looking forward to seeing that in an England shirt again. Yeah. So, well, I think that the selection now is an important step. I think, and I was asked a number of times around selecting and why would you announce the squad on this day. I think now our focus is on very much. It's on about us, this team, and getting better and improving, less about the selection. I know I noted last week that there was a lot of conversations, a lot of thoughts amongst the players preparing for a test match, but also about selection. So I'm really pleased that we've announced the squad on this date. I think it's been an important step for us. And now we build, and I think that we've got to continue. We've got 3 important test matches in front of us. Wales at Twickenham, Ireland in Dublin, and then Fiji back here at Twickenham, and each one of them is going to be a step forward in terms of how we play. We're still in a reasonably challenging training phase right now, and what we'll do is we'll start decreasing the training load as we get close to the tournament, so we'll see the team sharpen up, and we'll see that evidence very much. That will become more evident in the way we attack.
I think there are a number of them. We went through a very thorough process. Steve and I had the Six Nations and the experience of working throughout that period and learning a bit more about the players. And then certainly this last 8 weeks, and through watching the Premiership and getting around and speaking to people and understanding players gives a real insight. I'm not keen to share with you our defensive philosophy, but what we'll say is, we are, like most defences, you're heavily reliant on your back row and your centres to provide much of the energy and hit, and we feel we've got a really good balance there. We're working with all of them. I know that sounds pretty broad, but when you put a squad together like this, they all have to bring some leadership qualities. You understand Owen is captain, Courtney and Ellis have done a wonderful job as second in charge, if you like. But right across the board, we're looking for leaders right throughout. So I mentioned the back row and the centres a moment ago. They're the positions we'll particularly be reliant on, but as you guys have probably seen, there's a number of other players within that squad who will provide that aggression and energy to defend like we can.
Coach.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely delighted to be involved. I think during my short time working with England, there've been some tough experiences, but some great ones as well, and a lot of learning that's taken place. And it was great to be in Test Week last week. Probably wasn't what we desired in the end, but we look forward to now to what's to come, and certainly from when we get on that plane at the end of August and go to France. I know from the experience around me and speaking to players, what a great experience the World Cup is. So I'm looking forward to ripping in and giving it my best shot.
back row, can you all just take a little shuffle that way, please? Yeah, well, perfect. Great stuff. Cameraman, can you just come out of the way for a second? Thank you. Yeah.
Alex?
Okay, lovely. Yeah, front row, just go hands on knees, please. Back row, yeah, you're perfect. Okay, here we go. Look this way. Lovely.